Welcome, Wastelanders. It's that time again. This is episode 55. We've got a pretty robust crew tonight.
Kara, we're actually on 57.
Oh, we're on 57? My bad.
I didn't even tell you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. I've been out of the game too long.
That's okay. You haven't been around for a while. It's just fun.
Yeah, I know. I abandoned.
Oh, there's no abandonment. We're so lucky and glad to have you back.
Well, I will be sure to make you regret that as little as possible.
Oh, my goodness.
So, as you can see tonight, we've got Andrew with us. Hey, Andrew.
Hi, Kara.
Hi. And we also have Pat. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Kara. How you doing?
Doing pretty all right. How about yourself?
Doing good, thanks.
Awesome. And then we have Dennis. Hey, Dennis.
Welcome back, Kara.
Thank you. And it looks like Kyle just joined us. Hi, Kyle.
Hi. Welcome back.
Yeah, I dropped a link in Kyle's inbox too, just because I like having Kyle around. So I thought that if he was available, that he could just hop on in. So thanks for hopping on, Kyle. Awesome.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Call me at a good time.
Yeah, great. I didn't know if you'd be working tonight or not, so I figured I'd just randomly throw it out there, see if you were around.
Just grabbing a cup of coffee, and I'm coincidentally good to go.
I'd be up till tomorrow if I had coffee right now.
It's decaf for me.
This is usually beginning of shift, so I'm
it's
banging it in right now.
Pat, are you permanently a decaf person at all times of day?
No, only late in the evening. I survive on during working hours. I survive on caffeine and fizzy water, and during after hours it's decaf and booze. So that's
fizzy water. You don't actually mean real like seltzer or something, do you? Are you talking about like flavored, the seltzer, whatever. I don't care about brand or anything. Like orange flavored water and that kind of crap. The LaCroix or LaCroix, however you pronounce it.
LaCroix is fine, but I'm also fine with the generic stuff.
Yeah, a little Perrier water with a little slice of lemon, maybe.
Yeah,
God, absolutely. Do you pick up your pinky, please, when you're drinking?
No. No, I don't drink soda, so I substitute fizzy water for the soda. That's
interesting. When I lived in Germany, Austria, that was their water, pretty much, that they would serve table water at a restaurant, whatever. It was just the Mineralwasser. It was just the fizzy water. I couldn't stand it. So guys, guess what today is? None of you are guessing. It is the 1 year anniversary of exactly. Fallout 4 was released 1 year ago today.
Woo, 1 year.
And so that marks about the 1 year anniversary of our 12-hour marathon, because that's why we did the marathon. The first year was in celebration of Fallout 4, the release. How fun!
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where we did our first marathon, was because of Fallout 4 coming out, and then it just happened that Skyrim came out about a year later than that, so we decided to make that our next event. So
the marathon has lore. Who would have thought? Who would have thought it?
Hey,
we're gonna have to write to Todd Howard and say if they don't put out another game next year at this time, it's gonna really suck and it's gonna really hurt hurt our charity stream.
That's right.
No, that's an incredible point, actually, Dennis. I was thinking about that because there's these two mystery unnamed games that they have in the background. Theoretically, one of them was like a space one. I was like, ooh, what if the space one just gets like a secret drop in this next year, and it'll be a year from now, and we can use that as the next game. But who knows?
You think they're going to drop in a year though? Unless
totally
for
not.
A brand new game, if they have, I don't know. I'm not betting either one of those drops in a year.
Oh no, I'm guaranteeing you they won't. I'm just wishful thinking over here.
Yeah, in a perfect world. But, I mean, it's nice that Bethesda really takes their time with it. So they give you a pretty complete game.
I've mentioned it's not like a assigned different stats type of role-playing game necessarily, but I mentioned maybe we do the marathon next year at the drop of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is supposedly about a year from now. So I'm excited about that game. I don't know if other people in the group are, but that was one of my big games back in the day. So who knows? And there'll be new games coming out that we can celebrate, or it doesn't necessarily have to be a game. We can just do our marathon around any sort of event, Doesn't necessarily have to be a game release celebration.
Well, I've never heard anything bad said about Red Dead Redemption, actually. I only hear positive, pretty much glowing reports about the game. So I think it sounds like a good idea.
I sent a little feedback into Game Talk. I don't know if it actually got played or not. Has anybody else out there played the Red Dead Redemption games, the series?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first one, remind me, Kyle, was called Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah, Red Dead Revolver. Yeah,
And-
I never played that one. No, I only played Red Dead Redemption.
The second one, the sequel to that, is called Red Dead Redemption. Now, why wouldn't they come up with a third part in the series called Red Dead something else? Why is it Red Dead Revolver 2? That's like having a sequel part B to something that's already a sequel. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't it kind of take off with Redemption? I mean, wasn't that the thing that like nobody really knew?
I think that was way more popular than the Revolver.
So I think it's just basically branding,
a marketing thing.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
I mean, if Redemption had not been sort of noticeably better, then they probably would have called it Red Dead, Redux or something.
I think call it like Resurgence or Resurrection or something. Stick with the R, but
then you're getting awfully close to the Matrix movies, of which the second two were pretty crap. So
I think Rockstar's made so much money. They're like, we could call it Red Dead crap, and we'll still be bathing in GTA money. We'll be fine.
Yeah, well, that's true. They can afford to take risks on other games.
I think they should put John Marston with a cool mustache and some cool booty shorts on an island out in like Hawaii or something maybe, and call it like John Marston PI.
They can make it the cover photo like they do the GTA with like the chick blowing like the kisses and shit like that, making it look like the 80s.
We love that.
Well, actually, no. GTA 5 she was holding like an iPhone with the pineapple on it or whatever.
I'm getting flashes of Tom Selleck all through my head now.
You should.
It always comes down to Andrew, facial hair and a cool hat. That's what it always comes down to.
My beard, you guys, for Halloween this year. I went as Han Solo because my kid was a little. Everyone assumed he was Luke Skywalker because he was a little Jedi. But if anyone knows your Star Wars lore at all, my wife was Princess Leia. I was Han Solo, and our little boy was who was our little boy?
Jaden,
Ben,
Jason. Or there's Anakin.
No.
Kylo
He's
Ren.
the child of
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
But doesn't that mean Mo's gonna kill you when he grows up?
Little Ben Solo. I even posted a picture saying, "Oh, look, it's little Ben Solo," and we have full faith that our little boy will grow up to be an honest, hardworking, loving son and have nothing to do with my ultimate demise.
Well, here's
to anyone who hasn't seen that movie yet.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about the Jedi Academy books where they had the triplets.
Oh no, I didn't even know they had triplets. Is that canon?
Oh yeah, they've done a whole bunch of redacting and changing things.
I think Star Wars doesn't it have a hierarchy of canon? Like the movies are the most canon, and then certain other things are
purchased it. They actually declared what is and what is not canon now.
Yeah, they did a thing like after the latest movie came out, they made like a whole post about what is and is not canon anymore to just kind of straighten everything out, I guess.
I am personally not up to speed on that.
Comic books as well, and they wanted those comic books to actually be worthwhile into the universe and sell well, so they rewrote what is actually. What isn't? So
basically whatever made us cold hard cash, that is now canon. Enjoy.
Exactly.
There goes Dennis getting to the heart of the problem.
The Great Ewok Adventure, now canon.
Exactly.
Ewok Christmas special.
How many Jar Jars do we sell? Not enough. Well, 2 more, and he's canon.
Man, I just watched the Clone Wars the other night with Jar Jar, and I was like, people need to let him out of the doghouse. Sure, he's a little bit annoying, but people went overboard, I think, with the Jar Jar hate. And I will duck as everyone throws their iPods at me right now.
I'm going to join you down there because I feel the same way. I did feel uncomfortable when the movies first came out because I was like, I don't know, he sounds a little racist. Like this is making me uncomfortable. I can't believe this made it through. But as a character, he's fine. The way he was speaking, not so much.
Yeah.
A caricature of a guesstimation of an accent.
Yeah.
I was told that there's an underground movement online saying that he's a Sith.
Oh yeah.
That's actually all an act, and it's more like a drunken fighter style kind of. He acts like a retard, but he's actually a Sith in disguise.
Hey, let's redacт that R word, shall we, Kyle?
All right, my bad. I apologize.
So now it's actually going to come down to Jar Jar Binks being the ultimate evil, and then Ben will join with Rey and all the other Jedi who are left alive, which I don't know how many are anymore, and then they'll defeat him.
I know the Star Wars chat is dragging on here, guys, but my wife has and I have differing opinions of the relationship between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren and Rey and the whole family and everything. Do you guys have any guesses of what their relationships are?
Well, we know two of them. We know Kylo and Luke, right?
What is the relationship between Kylo?
Uncle and nephew, right? I mean, is this a trick question?
No. That's not a trick question at all. I just kind of want to talk through it because I can't really make sense of these relationships.
So that's clear, I think.
Yeah.
That one is clear. I think the other one,
my wife
I don't think we know.
My wife automatically assumes that Rey is Luke's daughter. Whereas I believe that since Star Wars loves to beat you in the fucking head with themes over and over again, that they have to be twins, that Kylo Ren and Rey have to be twins separated at birth in order to protect them because they were hunting down Jedis or whatever. Kylo Ren stayed with his parents and Rey happened to go off with a family. There's a scene in The Force Awakens where Rey is remembering back to her childhood and seeing an airplane fly off. Well, that's her parents like fucking off and leaving her with the slave trader who was the person.
That makes no sense. Like, okay, if they're twins that were separated at birth, I think that Han and Leia would probably place her with someone safer than a slave trader.
Well, that's their parents had nothing to do with it. It's like because they were separated and trying to be hidden by the Jedi, someone and like found her and sold her off. You know what I mean? Like they stole her or something.
Well, that's just rude.
That's horrible. But anyway, I'm saying that Star Wars beats you in the head with themes over and over, so they got to be twins.
I could see that. That's a good point about the themes. They really kind of.
Yeah, I figured cousins maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, she automatically assumed it was Luke's daughter just because of that connection, and I'm thinking Luke's gay.
It's possible.
Mark Hamill's even said that in interviews before, but I don't know if there's actually anything to that.
Well, he didn't straight out say it. Is
it a possibility or something?
Yeah, he admitted it was a possibility, but then he also said he's whatever you want him to be. It's like,
I love Luke Skywalker, but Mark Hamill, come on.
Mark Hamill.
No, I love him as the Joker. Good stuff.
Oh, me too. Favorite.
But
do you think? Do you think they're gonna go that trite? I don't know. I don't know. I'm giving them a little more credit for going a little bit of a new direction.
I love the new movie, and I love J.J. Abrams, but I think that he made too many nods to the first movie.
Yeah, new direction. I think they missed the new direction part of that.
There were too many. It was great to see nods to the classic, but there was almost too much to it.
Maybe
so I don't know if they will avoid that on purpose. You know, Pat.
I'm kind of thinking. First one there in episode what? That was episode 7, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So episode 7, definitely some fan service there in that one in terms of all the callbacks and the desert planet and the yada yada. I have cautiously hopeful that in 8 and 9 they'll go off in a little bit more of a distinct direction, and that the spoiler alert of the death of Han Solo then will be the break, and okay, now they're going to go off in some different directions for the last 2. I'm hopeful they will, and like they wouldn't just play out the twins because that would just be terrible. They might do it, but it would be so terrible.
I was just about to say, it's probably, this movie was like a call to arms to collect all the former fans of Star Wars, the kids who grew up with Star Wars, is to collect those people who are now adults back in and to hook their children as children.
Absolutely,
That's with the next few movies as well. And so they're just revisiting these themes just to sort of like remind the children about what these major themes are, and then I think you're right that the next 2 will spin off in some crazy direction. If Rogue One or anything like that is any indication, then that seems like a very interesting branch of the Star Wars story. You know what I mean? But,
Is JJ directing that one too?
I
don't believe
think
so.
so.
Because the people, the I don't know if they're brothers, but the team who did like the Lego Movie and 22 Jump Street and stuff like that, they're doing the Han Solo single movie. So I think any of those like middle ones or like the in-between ones or whatever, I don't think those are going to be JJ. But you know, George Lucas only directed the first one. He passed off directing duties on Empire and Return of the Jedi. So I don't know. Will JJ stay the director the whole time? He probably will, but I don't know. George Lucas.
I thought he was signed for 7, 8, 9, and that, like you said, all the other peripheral things in between were going to be other directors.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Well, I'm having a lot of fun talking about Star Wars, but I also want to ask your guys' opinions about having Fallout in your lives for another year. It's been one whole year since the release.
Yeah. What do you think?
So I've been playing Skyrim for what 2 weeks now. Yeah, roughly 2. Or I guess it'll be 2 weeks this weekend. And I missed Fallout. I tell you, I do miss the Fallout. Skyrim is got its own little nice. It's got its own benefits and everything else. But I have been thinking, boy, I would like to get back into the Wasteland. Although I'm actually thinking I might slip in that New Vegas disc instead, because that's really we talked about it a lot here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So because I feel like I haven't exhausted Fallout 4 by any means, but I feel like there's just not, for all the reasons we talked about, there's just not some of the depth of some of the character options that you pick up at some of the other ones. I thought it was a good game, a successful game. I enjoyed every minute playing it, although I think it is different from New Vegas or 3.
I was reading an old Game Informer mag, I think it was from like March, and there were a lot of complaints in terms of how some readers felt about how Game Informer treated this latest Fallout installment. They were pretty angry that there was less room for role play because they felt this Fallout in comparison to the other Fallouts, and I haven't played the others, so I don't know, gave you less room to just kind of make up your own backstory, and that was something that really bothered them.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
They lock you in with this. I guess the other games probably would also have a storyline that you have to follow, but it does seem like they did cement down. You are either a male who was in the army and did this, or the female who did this, and then this is your story. Your baby gets stolen, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So 3. I mean, 3. You literally start off as a kid. You're a baby. That's the first thing you are, and then you don't really sort of fully role play growing up, but you have your birthday party and you have your goat test and some other things, and in each of those you get to go in different directions. And then Fallout New Vegas is actually
about the goat test. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
The goat is the best thing ever.
Yeah, I remember that now. It's from not Concord. What's that?
Covenant.
Covenant, yes.
Yeah. Covenant from Fallout 4 is the goat test from 3. But then New Vegas is actually very Skyrim-y in the sense that you start off as the courier, but that's all. You're just the courier. You could be a 17-year-old man or a 85-year-old woman, and it doesn't matter because it's you're just the courier. So that's your only backstory. That's the only way in which you're limited by your backstory. You can your prior history, your gender, your age, the things you like to do, the things you're good at, all your choice in New Vegas.
You were just talking about the New Vegas.
New Vegas, right? That's when you're the courier. Yeah,
that's the one where there's like the New California Republic and all the 18 different factions who are all warring and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I really need to play those old games, you guys.
You'd at least New Vegas. I could see not going back to 3. I mean, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but I could see maybe not going back to that because I don't think the gameplay is sort of as strikingly good as New Vegas.
I think if you do some of the more modded playthroughs. I mean, it takes a little bit of work to take some of the of it, but obviously it's not going to be Fallout 4, but it's not a horrible game as long as you can tweak it a little bit. But I still enjoy Vanilla 3, but it modded versions, especially with the New Vegas. I mean, the New Vegas mods are second probably only to Skyrim. I think, I don't know who I was watching. I don't know if it was Victor who mentioned it. It might have been when I was watching one of Gopher's videos where he was going over, he goes over the whole Bethesda, magic or, theory of what should, because people are talking about what should be in Elder Scrolls 6. And he goes through each of the Bethesda games. He goes through Morrowind. He goes through Fallout 3, and he talks about all the good things that are in the game, because people say, well, you shouldn't have this and you shouldn't have that. But he talks about what the formula overall of what makes these games great and successful, and most of it's open world, the ability to have so many of different choices. And so if you go back to some of the older games, yeah, they do have warts, but you see all of the building blocks that gave you Skyrim, that gave you Fallout 4, all of the good things. There's all good chunks and identifiable pieces in all of those games.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You said that was a video that Gopher had uploaded.
Yes, it's like a 6-part series.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it focuses on all the good things and not like sitting there
exactly
saying what's wrong with each of them, but this could be improved. It's just strictly this is what people got from it at that time. Is what's made it so successful, so special, and this is how they build on it.
Nice. Hey, before we get into what the rest of us thought of our first year of Fallout 4,
it's time to throw in a word from our sponsors.
Following total atomic annihilation, it may fall to you to save the great nation. That's why Voltec has made extra preparation and are proud to present to you a special education.
Would you like a very spiffy, brand new ASA podcasting t-shirt? Well, that's great, because we have 2 brand new designs, one for a Skyrim addict and one for the Fallout feed, over at etsy.com/shop/ASAPodcasting.
Supply is a spark, so on seeing something sweet, be sure to gather your staff. The stronger you
All right.
Did we lose?
I think we. No, my mic fell out.
Come back.
Thank you. So sorry to interrupt that. So we were reminiscing about the building blocks, and that to me is something that does bring me back to play any old game. There are times when I look at my old collection, I'm like, how could I have ever enjoyed this? I'm never going to play this again. And then I get bored one day and I pop something in. I'm like, I forgot how much I enjoyed this.
Give me a specific example of this, please. I want to know what series you're talking about.
Well, honestly, for one of the things was that Star Fox N64 game and GoldenEye. I loved GoldenEye.
Oh, GoldenEye is terrific. Yeah.
Like modern adaptations of the previous game?
For
GoldenEye 007?
I haven't played any.
The Wii did a supposed almost remake of the one on N64, but I hated it. I don't know why. I just could not play it. And I loved the one on N64. I would just play the same levels over and over, and then my buddies and I would play the multiplayer all the damn time. It was so fun playing the man with a golden gun or like single chop hits or something,
Yeah. I loved the paintball version of the multiplayer one too.
Incredible. And it was one of those games, the first games that I ever got so familiar with it. I knew every nook and cranny of every map, That's like, that was the first game that I'd done that for. And then Mario Kart was right behind it with memorizing every fucking turn on the track. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You predict, like, oh, I'm gonna slam it now. Like you knew every bit. But yeah, I love that Bond game. So you were saying the progression of the Bond games or other N64 games?
Yeah, pretty much Super NES and N64 games and so on and so forth. It's interesting to me to play something or to have played something way back when and then play another game that kind of plays on that nostalgia, either intentionally or unintentionally. And I can't think of any good examples right now, but it just kind of reminds me of, it's kind of like when you think back on your childhood sometimes, and you're like, it was a happier time, and I had so few adult problems, and so on and so forth. I had my own kid problems, but it kind of brings me back in that way. And it gives me a warm feeling.
My favorite example of that, Kara, building blocks wise of following a character or series would be Mario and Zelda, are obvious to me, or just like,
oh yeah,
the earlier games are still amazingly fun, but you can see how each one builds on the predecessor to build yet another amazing installment, except for part 2, which was really weird for Mario. But the especially the Zelda games. I love playing. I don't do it anymore because of Skyrim and Fallout and all this podcasting project that I've gotten myself into. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but I used to go back and play Zelda Wind Waker annually and Ocarina of Time. I used to go back and play those games every year, like just to go through them again because I loved them so much. I haven't done that in the last few years, but I would just love to play the Ocarina of Time and then Wind Waker because I could just see how they build off each other and they're so pretty, and I do like watching that progression and stuff.
Yeah, although honestly with some of the new progressions, I can't keep up. I mean, admittedly, I'm not a console gamer. I pretty much suck.
That stinks. No, it's fine. Whatever, you can let them go. But I am excited. I've said it 100 times now. Everyone's tired of it. Like, yes, Andrew, we know your Nintendo rule. My Nintendo rule is if a Zelda and a Mario Kart come out for it, I have to go get the new system if Zelda and Mario Kart are out for it. So when this new Switch thing's coming out, I'm totally going to get that new Zelda game, which I'm really excited about because they said it actually plays a lot like Skyrim, which I'm excited to see a Zelda game with a little bit of exploration of Skyrim open worldness to it. That'll be really fun.
That will be. I just want to take a quick jump of train of thought here. I think Pat has an email that we need to cover for this episode.
Yeah, and then we'll finish out the show in a little bit with just our final thoughts on the first year of Fallout 4. So, let's go check some email.
Yeah, so this one is from a good friend of the show, Shalene, who responded. We had thrown out on the Facebook and the Twitters what just sort of an open topic. What would people like to hear about? And Shalene shot back a really interesting topic here. And we may not even have time to cover all this since we got a good group here. We maybe want to let this carry over to the next episode, but we can get it started here. So Shalene writes to the show. Her title of her email is Hypothetical Scenarios. So here's her suggestion. An apocalypse is about to happen, and you, lucky podcast host, get to be the architects of destruction. If there had to be an apocalypse, which type would you pick? Nuclear devastation, plague, alien invasion, zombies, polar shift, drought, flood. What's your favorite type of apocalypse? Thanks for the excellent podcast. Shalene, thanks for that excellent conversation starter. Nice going here. Yeah, so maybe Andrew, we'll start with you. What would be your chosen apocalypse if you had to pick one?
I really have no idea. Like, if you have to frame the question in like, what is the existence I myself would like to live in, or what is the one that I find most interesting? Because
I think they're both valid questions. Answer whichever one you like.
See, I don't even know because I'm just a classic fan of holy shit, I just woke up and everybody's gone and there's no explanation what the fuck is going on. Like that is fun to me.
So kind of let's see.
Everyone has disappeared. Like either Rapture is fun explanation for that, or like 28 days later, sort of that guy wakes up and like except for I'm not into zombies. I think zombies are way overdone these days. But I'm just like, so an apocalypse without zombies, with
So you could do like a sort of like almost like a 12 Monkeys kind of thing.
Ooh, I actually really like that movie.
Yeah, 12
I
Monkeys.
haven't watched the series, but the movie I remember really.
I haven't either, but the movie was good. I mean, very creepy. Lots of like WTF is going on here, all that.
Is that a classic like sci-fi novel or something that they adapted for a movie? I don't know.
Don't know.
So what I'm hearing is that you like mystery with your apocalypse.
And it's just better than being like, well, the Chinese dropped a bomb on our asses, so we dropped one on them. You know, like that's not fun to me. Or the Lost theory, where like I actually die in a plane crash, but like we're in some weird mystery.
You're not dead. Come on, we've been over this.
Sorry. I don't know. Hellfire and Brimstone might be awesome to see before you die. Like, I like meteors. I don't know.
Meteors, that's a classic. Definitely a classic there.
That is, yeah, that's a classic.
So what about Dennis? What about you? Do you have a chosen apocalypse?
I don't know. I'd probably go with aliens because I'm not much of a sci-fi person, so every time I watch a sci-fi movie, I'm like, this is such crap. So I'd like to actually see the aliens really pull off a good apocalypse, and if they screw it all up, I'm like, yeah, well, whatever, you screwed it up again.
I don't believe in you guys anyway.
I'm gonna go read my L. Ron Hubbard book. F all of you.
Hey, Dennis, can you brainstorm for me what sort of form of apocalypse the aliens would bring to us? Like, how would it happen?
I don't know. I'd always my uncreative mind always goes back to the South Park anal probe.
Well, and you chose this one willingly. This was your choice.
Oh man,
that speaks volumes, Dennis.
I don't have anything to add to that now.
All right, Kyle, you opened your mouth. You can be next. What's your chosen apocalypse?
Oh, given the choices, I would say zombie apocalypse.
Now you can go. You don't have to tell. Shalene was only starting the conversation. You can pick a totally off the rails apocalypse if you want.
Well, I mean, it's not feasible, but I know it's overplayed, like Andrew said. But out of those things, or out of most apocalypse choices, you're most likely to maybe make it out, make it live longer, and you might have some fun in the meantime. Who knows? I mean, you might meet somebody again with a crew, and there's got to be loss, and it's going to be horrible, and it's going to be an apocalypse, but you never know. I mean, I watch Walking Dead every week, and I've seen them laugh. So apparently the apocalypse can't be completely horrible.
Oh, the survivors. I thought you meant the zombies. I'd never seen those motherfuckers.
Oh my God. Now I want to see a movie where the zombies just start laughing.
Wait, there's that one where the zombie falls in love with the girl that came
Warm Bodies.
Yes, Warm Bodies.
They gotta laugh at that one, right?
That was so funny. Yeah. He's my best friend, but all we do is grunt at each other.
That was a pretty good movie. I like that movie.
Beast in the new X-Men series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Nick,
it's fun.
I think it's Nick Holt or something.
I don't know. I don't got a crush on him like you do, Kara.
I would totally. If he asked me out, I'd be like, yes, please.
I might. Jeez.
I mean, he's also English, so
I heard him in a Saab commercial or some Mercedes or something. Yeah. Who do we need to check in with? Kara, did you say your apocalypse? Pat?
Pat hasn't, and I haven't. For me, it would be Ancient Curse.
That's fun, like a temple or the pyramids or something.
Something like that. I mean, there's so many things we still don't know about this world, and we are notorious for poking our noses where they don't belong. It would kind of serve us right to get crap for it.
So, what sort of ancient curse? What present form would an ancient curse take?
Well, some of it was mentioned on the Facebook post, like pestilence, death.
All the good ones.
Yeah, all the classics.
Yeah, so I could see like you open the ancient curse temple, and like a horde of locusts or something fly out and eat all the food on the planet or something like that.
Yeah. Like, what if we finally find Atlantis and we really shouldn't have because there was a reason it disappeared?
Oh snap! I like that.
Or the
Like back in
Mayas.
the day, they jettisoned it into the depths of the ocean for a reason.
Cut this out of the podcast, and we're gonna have a brainstorming session. We're gonna write a script here, guys.
It is NaNoWriMo.
I like the Atlantis connection. That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I encourage everybody listening to this to send in your own ideas through feedback, because we could use all the good ideas for ending the world that we could possibly have.
Yeah.
Not that we're planning anything.
You
No.
can do it in the ballot box, for example.
I mean, because I don't want to be stuck with my lame anal probe idea forever. I mean, if you got a better idea, please drop one on me so I don't have to suffer through an anal probe.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What about you, Pat?
So mine is the Planet of the Apes style, where
Nice.
basically humans cause all this crap. They deserve to be walking around in rags and being slaves of the ape masters, and in the Planet of the Apes now. I'm talking original Planet of the Apes. Before you get in deep into the sequels, and you find out there's still like nuclear cultists and all this other crap going on. But in the original one, it's like, the apes are perfectly happy. They're riding around on their horses. They got their scholars, and they got their leaders, and they got their soldiers. Until the humans show up and start screwing things up, the apes are perfectly happy. So I think if humans cause some kind of terrible nuclear apocalypse, let the apes take over. They deserve a shot. They can't do any worse than we have. And there's other examples of that. The other one is the classic Jack Kirby comic series Kamandi, which is kind of the same way. It's Kamandi's he's like the last surviving human boy on a planet populated by intelligent talking animals. So that's another thing in the Planet of the Apes vein.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is this the one that you find most interesting, or that you desire to happen?
Well, I think it's the one that's sort of most poetically appropriate. That humans screw the place up so bad, the animals get to take over. Now the absolute grimmest apocalypse to me is, have any of you guys read Cormac McCarthy's The Road?
I have, and I've watched the movie. I've read the book. It's oh my goodness.
I couldn't get past the first 50 pages, man.
I read the book, and I actually realized I could not possibly watch that movie because I can't imagine the grimness of that book being brought to life in a film. Of
course, in like any form, the movie is. Well, I'm gonna do the movie's not nearly as good as the book, but it's more tame, if I can put it that way. I don't know. The book is fucking bleak and graphic. Like,
yeah.
It is rough.
There are a lot.
The movie's not nearly as rough.
There are a lot more things you can portray with words than with motion. Sometimes
my mind can just get demented too if the description is good enough. You know what I mean?
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No, probably wouldn't look at Dennis.
That would be my all-time bleak apocalypse. Would be The Road.
That's great. What happened to what was The Stand? Was that a sickness?
I couldn't get through that one. Yeah, was that what it was? Yeah.
Captain Trips or whatever they called it.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we will continue on with our thoughts on the anniversary of Fallout 4 on next week's episode. So I encourage everyone to tune in next time when we will see some more email. I think we got one from Michael coming up, and I think Kylie has an email that we'll check in with next week. So thank you for everyone listening to this episode. And before we sign off tonight really quick, I just would like to thank these following people who donated for episode 50 of the Fallout feed. $1 can get you this episode still, guys, everyone. It's in the vault, but you can still access it forever, even years down the road when you hear this. If you're listening to back catalogs, contact me and at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. And we'll get you episode 50 if you donate $1 to asapodcasting@gmail.com, and that dollar will go directly to the CFF.org, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So thanks to Nathan, General Fernbach, Matthew, Michael, Andrew, not me, Andrew, Andrew, Dallas, Michael, Caleb, Lee, Casey, Ray, Dennis, Pat, Keith, Kenneth, Sherry, Edward, Ray, Kylie, Dale, Kyle, Michelle, Blake, Lee, Nathan, Shalene, and Juan. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We will,
Thank you.
and let's see, who do we got here? For Kara, Thank you, Kara, for coming on. It was great to talk to you again.
It's great to be back.
Dennis, thanks for checking in, buddy.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Kyle, awesome to have you.
Thanks for the invite.
And Pat, as always.
Good to talk to everybody.
And this is Andrew saying, thanks for listening, everyone, and we will see you in the wasteland.
See you in the wasteland.
See ya.
Episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, the Skyrimmaddictpodcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Okay, I'm going to save this real quick and start another file. Everyone on YouTube gets the halftime show.
Woo!
Start singing. Start singing, Pat.
Please keep going. That's awesome. Was that? No, that's not the Tonight Show. What was that?
It was some like talk show or something. It might have been the Tonight Show. I don't remember.
Might have been the Johnny Carson era Tonight Show.
What's that?
They still use the same theme? Would they still use the same theme music these days? No way.
No.
I haven't seen the Tonight Show since. Oh my lord! Probably since the '90s. I think Jacob Leno was hosting.
I need a sec, guys. I'll be right back.
I could never do Leno. I was always a Letterman guy.
Yeah, Letterman's way better. Chucking TVs out of windows is fucking cool.
Yeah, and of course he's your Indiana connection there.
Like he went to Ball State, and that's the main college town that we would always go hang out at. And he was a fucking legend around here. And I lived in a little apartment that was a block away from the little Atlas grocery store that he always talked about, that he would send his, you remember on the show when he would send his mom out as like a weather correspondent?
Oh.
The grocery store that he used to work at, that I lived like right across the street from the fucking grocery store. That was hilarious. All right, let's see. We just recorded the Fallout feed.
57?
57, you're right. Save as. All right, the Fallout feed. Hashtag 57. All right, save. I'll edit that later. New. Okay. Let me get my theme music queued up, and I'm ready to go whenever Dennis checks back in or everyone's here.
What are we doing?
Another episode. We're banking another episode.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah, so we got email from Lee, email from Kylie, email from Michael, a little bit of Twitter action. Actually, a good conversation starter from Jeremy on the Twitter. Actually, we got a good conversation starter from Michael and then a good one from Jeremy, both. So we got some good stuff here.
Okay, Jeremy Bouts.
Yeah, man, one and only.
Good. So I don't think I knew any other things. Who wants to host? Let's make someone else host. Dennis, do you want to host the show? Yeah, I don't think
no.
Yes!
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Anal Probe Redemption.
That's right. Everybody mock me. No, I'm number 2. In keeping with the theme, I am number 2, not number 1.
You won't when the aliens are done with you. We're number 2.
You're lucky because you're the mouth comment, from the anal comment to the mouth comment. I let that slide. I didn't call you out on that one. So yeah,
I bet.
Okay, great.
So I'll host if you want me to, or Andrew, you can.
I'm going to roll the intro.
Oh wait.
Sorry, Kara. Kara, you said, "Oh wait, what?"
Oh no, that was for something else. I'm not hosting, am I?
No, Pat just said he would do it. Okay, Pat, we're episode 58.
Oh, sure, tell him.
Teachers.
Teachers Pat.
Quality podcasting here. Yeah.
Teachers Pat.
Teachers,
Yeah, that's funny. Well done.
Apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to leave the rest. Nuclear explosion sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core grows atomic waste. From deep within the core grows atomic waste.
Hello, roamers, stalkers, reavers, and glowing ones. Welcome to episode 58 of The Fallout Feed. This is your host for this episode, Pat, here. I'm joined by some of our stalwart podcasters here. We got Andrew sitting over there in the corner. Andrew, how you doing?
Very well, Pat. What's a rover?
It's a reaver. It's the reaver and the roamers. It's feral ghoul types. Roamers, stalkers, reavers, and glowing ones.
I think I misheard you then. Sorry.
Yeah,
I continue.
I might have misspoke. It's past my bedtime, so I easily got one up.
You misheard him, and that's why you're sitting in the corner, Andrew.
Yes,
Zing.
got my jaws posted.
Sitting in the star guest chair, our guest host extraordinaire and returning is Kara. Kara, great to have you back again.
It's awesome to be back, Pat.
Terrific. And we also have Dennis. Dennis, how you doing?
Doing well, Pat. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And finally, we have joining Kyle. Kyle, how you doing?
No, not too bad. Thanks.
Great. Glad to hear it. So,
Kyle, that's so awesome that you were just able to carve out time in your schedule to join us 2 weeks in a row. And Kara, God, you guys are just both so dedicated. Thanks for coming back, both of you guys. That's awesome.
The love runs deep.
Yes.
That's right. Good to have you guys joining us. So tonight here we're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna wrap up some chatter about the anniversary of Fallout 4 that we talked about. Started last week. We're gonna read a few emails, react to a few tweets, and see where else the conversation takes us. Andrew, was there anything else we wanted to cover tonight?
Yeah, there's just a couple of emails that I really wanted to get to. Kylie wrote us a really nice email, so I'd like to, shout out to Kylie. She actually won the Fallout package for the drawing of the raffle too. So congratulations to Kylie. I know that she won one of the packages. That's awesome.
Nice. And, what did she win one of those packages for? What was the occasion? I don't know that anything special has happened in the past month or so here at ASA.
Well, it so happens that if you listen to a couple episodes ago and last episode or the previous episode, you'll hear us talk about the 12-hour marathon ASA podcasting charity event to benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. If any of you are past listeners, you know that my child, Moses, has cystic fibrosis, so it is a cause that is near and dear to the hearts of us here at ASA Podcasting. Every dime that we raise goes straight to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Last year, we raised $580, I believe, which we were all very happy with and super impressed with. But this year, the event that we just did in the fall of 2016, it's just baffled my mind. I couldn't understand what was happening. Even before we started, really, we had already eclipsed the mark from last year. People were donating early, which is incredible. But we ended up getting, I don't know, what was it, almost 5 times?
It was
2,500.
500. Yeah, we hit it even 2,500.
Yeah, it was almost 5 times.
Yeah.
The amount that we got. So that is so. Just it punches me in the gut with just oh my Lord, the community here is serious and there's deep love with the people here. And so thank you so much everyone out there who had anything to do with it, the people who were podcasting, the people who were sending in money, the people who were just listening and enjoying and writing in on the YouTube, because there's plenty of people interacting on the Facebook group all day, on Twitter, and also on the YouTube chat. It was great. Michelle, I remember interacting all the way from Canada on the YouTube page most of the day and being around. So shout out. And he actually won a CD. I did a weird sort of, found a box of CDs in my basement from my band. Anybody want one?
I'll take one.
And I did a first person do a hashtag to this blah 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 to get the CD, and he actually wrote. I wasn't expecting anyone to be actually first of all listening live, and to do it within like 12 seconds of me saying it. So that's awesome. Shout out to Michelle. I will just put it out there now. If people are interested in hearing that CD, I'll mail you a CD if it's reasonable. Like, I don't want to be having like $12 mailing to, I don't know, Japan or something. But I guess if you're really interested, I'm not going to discriminate against the Japanese. Sure, if you're interested, I'll send you a $12 mail all the way to Japan. Yeah, if you're interested in hearing that CD, I don't care. I'll send you one. Contact me at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. I'll send you a CD. It's the only album that my band Red Queen Hypothesis ever really did a polished. We're a really lo-fi sort of like garage rock do-it-yourself type of band. But this was the only attempt we did at making a polished thing, like in sort of a semi-professional manner, and produced and did it, as cleanly as possible. It still probably sounds like garbage to most people who are professional music ears and all that, but to us it sounded really fucking great.
So you guys have one disc on Apple Music.
That's the one.
Is it this? Okay, because the cover is completely different.
Oh, maybe it isn't. Is it called Kodachrome Parade? I don't know. Who cares?
The actual physical CD has like the guy like kind of crouched over in a bathtub or whatever, and then the one let's see, Demons Out is the first track on the one that's on Apple Music.
Oh, weird. That's funny. That's a totally different year. Yeah. Who knows? I didn't even know that was on the line.
Yeah. See, I was ripping the disc and getting it loaded up to my Apple Music, and then I saw that. Wait a minute, there's an actual one already out there. Yeah.
That's really funny. I didn't even know it was available. Good. There you go, guys. Have fun.
See?
Well, just so you know, Andrew, I know it's very far away, but I know Colin lives in England, and I will be happy to pay shipping costs because I know Colin needs one of those CDs.
I just sent one to Canada to Michelle, so I don't care paying the international shipping. That's fine. If you give a crap, I will. If I actually get a huge influx, it might take a while for me to get to all of them because I'm not going to send out all of them at once if there's a bunch of. But
we made it a Patreon just for your mailing cost here.
I can't charge people mailing. That's got to be. It's just like Michael, when he said he's mailing out these packages like the one that Kylie won, he said, we're shipping these out with our own costs, not even the donation money that you guys send in. We're not even using a dime of that for shipping. All of the shipping and stuff will be out of our pocket stuff. So I have to kind of do that, even, if the CD isn't going to cystic fibrosis in any way, but I don't know. Hey, Kara, speaking of benefiting cystic fibrosis, would you like to mention your friend's app? I've actually started using that a lot in the last week or two. I'm trying to post at least 1 or 2 pictures of Moses every day. And would you like to explain a little bit about your friend's app?
Sure. Thanks for giving me the platform. It's an app that just came out a few weeks ago. It's called the Helpy app. HELPIE. You can read more about it on the website. I think it's called wehelpy.com or something. I'll have to double check that. And it's basically an app for selfies. But as Colin put it so expertly on the marathon day, it's turning something evil into something good and productive. I'm not someone who takes a lot of selfies. Taking pictures of myself always feels very awkward, but I know a lot of people who do it just for funsies and some that do it like it's their job. And every time you use the Helpy app to share a selfie to a social media platform, I think right now they might only be registering Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm not sure if it would apply to other formats. I'm not sure. every time you do that, you get 1 cent is sent to the charity of your choice within their database, and that's not a lot, but it does add up the more people who use the app, and the more people who use it and select your particular charity for it. So that's something nice. It's easy, and the app is completely free, so it's no skin off your nose.
So Andrew, maybe we can find that. I'm finding a similar app that's maybe a different one. So maybe Andrew, we can track down that link and put it in the show
I'll try to
notes.
put that in the show notes.
Yeah, we will do that. So it's very cool. So so check, and if you're listening to this podcast and it's the first time you're hearing about the charity stream, unfortunately you've missed the giveaway. You have not missed the opportunity to donate to cff.org. You can do that directly at cff.org, where you'll find the donate now link. Or you can, I presume Michael would still take late donations through the ASA podcasting.
Yeah, of course.
So if you want to make a late donation at any time as you're listening to this, you can PayPal any amount of money to asapodcasting@gmail.com using the friends and family option to avoid any fees, and that will go straight to cff.org to help find a cure for cystic fibrosis, or donate directly. And thanks to everybody who donated. Terrific event, and already looking forward to doing that again next year as to try to top this year's terrific results.
It was a grand old time, and the perfect opportunity for Comcast to kill my cable signal all day.
That was part of the charm of the day. Okay,
that was great.
Everybody boycott Comcast. Start a revolution.
Except for they have cable companies are allowed to have monopolies for some reason, whereas that's illegal in most industries. But cable companies are allowed to have monopolies, so there's no competition for them other than satellite.
Yeah.
Although in Comcast's defense, if they would like to write a really big check to CF, we would be more than happy to play ball.
I thought about calling over there and asking to speak to a manager to see if there was anything that I could guilt trip them into. You know what I mean?
That's what one of the I'm trying to remember who, but one of the people in the YouTube chat was saying you should do.
Yeah. try to guilt them into giving money. Who knows? That might be worth a shot.
Yeah, and giant mega corporations are so well known for their sense of conscience.
And
I'm sure they would have been all over that.
Have some faith in people.
They have to donate a certain amount of their profits to charity every year so that they can write it off on their taxes and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Might as well be cystic fibrosis.
Exactly.
All right. So, Andrew, we want to do Kylie's email now, and then before we take a break, or should we take a break first? What you think?
Let's go ahead and check in with Kylie's email. Do you have it pulled up?
I sure do. You want me to go ahead and hit that up?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. This is a note from Kylie. So I think Kylie and Andrew have been corresponding a little bit here, and in the course of their conversation, we got a really nice note from Kylie. So she starts off in the middle of things a little bit. So here's her note. Started with the Skyrim Addict podcast when I was playing Skyrim a few years ago. My computer started having issues, so I had to stop playing. I love that game. Still haven't finished the storyline 5 years later. Perfect time to go pick up SC. And was bored, so I took over my husband's Xbox and his copy of Fallout 4 and switched over to the Fallout Feed podcast. We all know that the Fallout Feed is better than a Skyrim Addict, so that's a very natural transition, Kylie. We definitely understand. I try to listen to both podcasts, but I have to be careful. If I listen to the Skyrim podcast for too long, I start wanting to play it. But I've got to finish Fallout 4 first, and I need to get my computer fixed. Real dilemma here for Kylie. So, funny thing, I hated Fallout 4 at first. I thought it was just the same old enemies over and over, plus the map was so small compared to Skyrim. Then I started just exploring and didn't worry about the main quest or the factions. I realized there's a lot to the game that is sad, disturbing, and a lot of mysteries that don't have answers. I try to read any terminals I find. The diaries and logs that people left right up to the bombs drop can really make you feel for a character you'll never see that died 200 years ago. People trapped in the bottom of factories because they shut down the elevators. People trapped in bunkers. The one where the generator stopped and created a vacuum seal for a husband, wife, and 2 kids was so sad. I didn't realize what the ham radios were all about, and I've been turning them off as I found them. Whoops. The roundtable from Skyrim on Saturday fundraiser was really fun. I would love to play along, but my schedule is so out of whack I wouldn't be a consistent player. I did check out the character generator we have on the site. You can find that, by the way, folks, at asapodcasting.com. Terrific character generator, both for Fallout Feed and for Skyrim, courtesy of our good friend Marcus. Kylie continues here. I'll be using with that when I get my computer fixed, maybe building a new one and start a new character. And she closes with a nice thought about the podcast. I love the podcast. The people participating have really good chemistry. Thank you, Kylie. You don't talk over each other all the time, and there isn't a bunch of interrupting or one or two people trying to take control. Plus the humor. A good podcast is one that is informative, entertaining, and can make you laugh. I really enjoyed episode 50. Thank you for sending it to me. And I'll be purchasing a t-shirt in the near future. Got to show some support and represent. Haha. Kylie, thanks so much. Really terrific notes. Thanks for the kind words about both the terrific podcasts, Skyrim Addict and Fallout Feed. Appreciate your checking in, and do hope you will send us some feedback. Let us know how your playthrough of Fallout 4 goes. We love that people are still picking up the game a year in, and would love to hear from you by email or send us some audio feedback on your phone using a voice memo app or whatever recording means you have to send it. So thanks for that, Kylie.
And I also have a couple of thoughts about Kylie's email here, but real quick, before we get into that, let's check in with a word from our sponsors.
Following total atomic annihilation, it may fall to you to save the great nation. That's why Voltech has made extra preparation and are proud to present to you a special education.
Would you like a very spiffy, brand new ASA podcasting t-shirt? Well, that's great, because we have two brand new designs, one for a Skyrim addict and one for the Fallout Feed, over at etsy.com/shop/ASApodcasting. And welcome back to the show. Thanks for your email, Kylie. Actually, those shirts are coming in hot and heavy, fast, leaving the house fast and loose, and those shirts are really hot looking. Pat, I see that your image on the whatever Hangout sort of image thing is a cool little picture of your.
Yeah, that is a limited edition that I happened just by dumb luck to score from the Podfather himself. I think he was trying out some. I don't know if he was trying out his screens or whatever, but he had a couple of red ones that he just tossed out, and I was able to snag one. So that's I think a two of a kind item, that red Fallout Feed t-shirt.
I definitely do not have that. My limited edition one is, I got I think a practice run that was a navy blue with white. That's really nice. But a lot of them he's been doing is the gray with the white print. But I asked him to do with the gray with the red print, so it's sort of like it's really subdued and kind of hard to see. Not like hard to see, but I just like that dark combination. And it just looks really sort of like metal or something, like a gray shirt with a red
You're
print.
so metal.
Well, we need to be sure that that shirt in extra small, because who does so much work and has done the character generator, which has really helped with a lot of the Fallout stuff and the Skyrim. He's a proud papa now. He has a new baby boy. So I wanted to be the first to say congratulations, Marcus. I know you did it all yourself. You character generated your own son.
The truth comes out.
He rolled over to his own spreadsheet, refreshed a few times, and got a good kid. So congratulations, Marcus. We should have said that last episode. It's been a whole week and a half since he's actually had the kid at this point. So, because he did it all himself. So good for you, Marcus.
And if we planned better, we could have. Yeah, we really could have sent them a shirt to bundle them the new pup home in.
Yeah, onesie.
That's the thing. Have you heard the drama of sending these shirts across the pond, as they say?
No.
An exorbitant amount of money to get them over there. There's this whole drama of Ted getting his shirts, Ted Finch, of like it getting to England, but they're getting bounced back all the way to Michael in the United States, and then having to get sent back to Ted again or something. Oh,
no. I hate that. Sounds terrible. Yeah. But I mean, if you're metal, I must be punk, because my shirts are black with white, or punk or goth. It depends.
Ramones, totally.
Emo.
Yeah, Kara's emo.
Shoegazer, man.
I really did have that phase back in the day. I'm sorry to say.
All right.
My wife used to wear pants that small children could hide in the cuffs of the legs.
I remember those huge pants, super popular back in the 90s. God, those things were giant.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Jenkos. I remember
Is that what they were
those.
called?
Yeah, the one brand of it was popular in my area.
That's funny. We got confirmation from across the room.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Pat, what else were we getting into the show this week?
Let's see. We had a terrific conversation starter tweet from a friend of the pod and occasional guest Jeremy on the Twitter. He throws out an interesting tidbit and maybe appropriate to talk about here just on the heels of the 1 year anniversary of Fallout 4. His question is, I'd like to hear your comments on if Bethesda were to make a Fallout ESO type game, Elder Scrolls Online type game. So that's now I've never done ESOs. That's a massive multiplayer, right? MMORPG. Is that right?
Yeah. First, explain what ESO is.
So ESO, Elder Scrolls Online. So Elder Scrolls, the other noted series, started with, Morrowind was Elder Scrolls 3, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4, and Skyrim, of course, Elder Scrolls 5. So that's the Elder Scrolls series, Bethesda's other major open world series, and then there's the Elder Scrolls Online. Which do any of you guys played online Elder Scrolls?
I played it for like a couple hours. Juan and Colin both were playing it, and they needed somebody else to join in to get their guild going, and I didn't want to let those guys down, so I played it for a little bit. It's and I know Sherry in the Facebook group plays it quite a bit. It's an interesting game. It's really jarring if you're very used to playing the single player experience to have suddenly all these different players running around you. It's I won't say it's, I won't use the horrible phrase immersion breaking, but it's just really bizarre. It's a really different experience. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah, so I've never done any multiplayer. What Kyle, Andrew, Kara, have you guys ever done one?
I've played ESO about the same amount of time that Dennis did. Shout out to Keith, Dog, and Juan. They were doing a dungeon run, and I had gotten ESO and decided to, oh man, let's all get together and have fun and do a dungeon run together. And I played it for a couple hours that night with those guys, and that was a great time. And I haven't put it in since.
I've never touched an ESO game yet. I have bought Skyrim Special Edition. I haven't touched it because school. But in terms of MMOs, I have played City of Heroes way back in the day and World of Warcraft. But I ended up abandoning them for various reasons.
Well, I tried one.
You don't abandon World of Warcraft. You pull the syringe out of your arm and stuff.
Exactly. Get to the clinic.
I had to hide my. The reason I'm a console gamer, not a PC gamer, is because I had to take my PC out and stuff it down in the basement and lock it in chains, so I stopped playing WoW.
I've got friends who still play, and I think the last time I played was sometime back in, 2009. I don't know. I can't even remember, but it was a long, long time ago. And I've got friends who still play it, and they're talking about all of these things. I'm like, wow, if I got plopped back into it right now, I would have no idea what I'm doing at all.
Yeah. So for me, Dennis, the comments you made about sort of immersion breaking, it's as is known by some of the loyal listeners, I do believe that companions are the worst. I don't like anything to do with companions any more than I have to. I like the Lone Wanderer play style. So with that, I just can't imagine how the Lone Wanderer play style would be in an MMORPG where you've got other people doing whatever they want to do in the wasteland. I want to be a lone wanderer and not be bothered by anybody else. I just want to go kill things on my own. I can't imagine what it would be like crawling around with other people.
Yeah, that would be difficult because there are some missions, like in World of Warcraft, that you really can't do by yourself. You have to have some team players, some help.
What I really want I don't want an MMO. I want a multiplayer, not a massive one.
There it is.
I want to get Colin and I want to get Victor and I want to say, guys, let's meet up at your Vasker and let's go run a companion's quest. Just
yeah, but see, but that would never happen because Colin will have killed all the companions, and Victor would be like, "Wait, I just need to load a few more textures and a few more mods, and I'll be right with you."
But that's the difference of what I want in an online experience with friends. I don't want a bunch of randos.
Yeah.
MMOs strip away the depth of a game like this. So Fallout MMO would probably be much like WoW or any other ESO or any other MMO. It would strip away the depth. You would have all these things to do with all these people, but like Pat said, you're going to lose that ability to be the lone wanderer. But if it's like Andrew said, where you can have multiplayer, either it be a local co-op where somebody can sit on the couch next to you and hop in via however you would work that split screen or whatever, or play online like you said, with Colin and them, and just meet up. So hey, we're gonna meet in Concord, and we're gonna go take Corvega. Well, when he hops in, then all of a sudden the world is more populated with bad guys, and Corvega becomes a lot more dense than it normally would with one player. Who knows?
Like Diablo or D3, I should say.
I mean, one of the reasons why I avoid ESO, and maybe this is not a fair characterization on my part, is that I am a power gamer, and games like WoW are built for power gamers, where you take the best stats and the best percentages and you crunch numbers continuously. And that leads you to doing the right amount of math in the right situations, always leads to victory. And it's a bunch of people that are all doing that. Whereas when I play, Skyrim or what have you, I'm trying to, pump the brakes on that and trying to relax and enjoy the world a little bit more. And I don't want to get into a Fallout or a Skyrim experience where I'm crunching numbers and doing all my normal power gaming stuff. I'm trying to take a vacation from what is my normal mode of play, and Skyrim and Fallout do that. And I don't want them to provide a, numbers to win thing. And again, I don't have enough experience in ESO. Maybe it's not that way. Somebody like Juan or what have you could give more. Maybe it does have that depth without having that, kind of game to win idea. But, I don't even want to think that, the two worlds would clash in that way.
Mm-hmm. That's a delicate balance to walk.
Walk the line.
So
for the developer, I mean, it's hard to cater, because I think it's been proven that things like MMOs can be incredibly successful and super profitable. So I'm afraid that instead of giving a kind of quality experience, not to say that MMOs can't be a quality experience, but that kind of quality experience, they might be less inclined to do so unless it was proven to be as profitable as an MMO or something like that.
Well, Pat, they are working on a multiplayer New Vegas. They're working on modding New Vegas. They're working on modding New Vegas. There's actual, I'm sure you could find it. I saw a video on it. They're modding New Vegas to make it multiplayer. There's also one going in progress for Skyrim too, but they're very beta. They're very alpha or beta stage. But you can find footage of multiplayer New Vegas.
Wow.
Anything that I've ever seen, and this was for a while back, it's just it would get your character in with someone else on their computer, but then it would just be like you standing still like a mannequin. You wouldn't actually be playing side by side and doing all the actions like you're, you know what I mean? wouldn't quite work.
I haven't watched the progression in New Vegas. I only saw the video once, but I've watched Bro Jewel. Bro Jewel does. He's a YouTuber that does a ton of Skyrim mod videos and everything. But he's given 2 or 3 videos now on the progression of the Skyrim multiplayer, or they call it Skyrim Online. And that one, yeah, you're right. Like it was you at first you could do nothing. And I think it's to the point like where you can do things, but like quests don't line up, and certain things still aren't there yet.
It was just amusing to see. Hey, Kyle, while we have you, thanks again for hopping on the show, man. That's always wonderful to talk with you. We've got an actual mod question, which it couldn't be more appropriate. I'm so glad you joined us on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Email from Michael David. I don't know who that guy is, but he says, "Hello, Fallout feeders. It's been a while since I hopped into Fallout 4. I'm looking to start a new character and was wondering if there were mods that you could recommend that would bring a new perspective to the main story. After completing it previously, I never felt the need to join or destroy the Institute again. I'm on the Xbox One, so I realized that'll limit my modding options. Big fan of the show, Michael." So the points he hits here is he wants to load mods. So which mods will bring a new perspective to the main story? You know what I mean? Like, he's bored of the Institute. What mods can he use to bring about another playthrough that are interesting enough to hold his interest for 20, 30 levels? What do you think, Kyle?
Oh boy, I don't know my mod.
And Dennis, I also wanted to check in with you, so try to have an idea in mind, because I know you always have good ideas about this sort of thing too.
Yeah, Dennis actually brought up a good one. I just started a new character the other day, and I remembered an episode of the Fallout feed. I don't remember the number, but where Dennis suggested the salvage beacons mod, and I just started using that yesterday. And I got the little tower up that you have to set up, or the little workstation you have to set up in your in a settlement. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because that looks super useful.
Yeah, Gopher actually, I actually stole that from one of Gopher's mod vaults. It's the salvage beacon where you set up the little, you can put everything. You go into basically a dungeon or an area, and you can loot everything in it and put a little salvage beacon on it, and all of your settlers will come, and instead of you having to haul all the crap back to the settlement, they will take it back, and if the further away the settlement is, the longer it takes to get the stuff back.
Did you have to assign someone to do that, or they just do it automatically?
No, I think the beacon takes care of that. I'm not sure.
You have to assign somebody in the settlement to do that as their job.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you have to. You set up basically what it was like at the castle, where you set up. There's like a little radio station where it's like a desk and a chair, and the person mans that little radio station area and then sends people out.
Uh-huh.
If I'm remembering it correctly. But I mean that is something from the and Gopher mentions this as well. If it was in the base game, that would totally change the way that settlements are dealt with, because you sit there and go, well, one of the questions continuously with settlements is, why am I doing this all on my own and you guys don't do jack other than hammer a wall over and over again?
Yeah.
Or you might pick a couple carrots, but this makes you feel that you're part of an inner economy and you're actually building towards something that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I love that mod, and that sounds great, but that's not quite exactly what he's asking. He's asking for a story.
Okay.
Like something to replace the Institute. Is that what he's asking? Like, does he not want to deal with the Institute anymore? What are some good story?
I took it I took his email as all the storylines you deal with the Institute, right? I mean the Minuteman, you go to the Institute, Railroad, you go to the Institute, or whatever. That's what I took it, that he was bored with hanging out at the Institute. What can he do? What mods can he do to let him advance the game? Advance his character without having to fart around the Institute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, Xbox One side, I don't know that there are many. I mean, there are tons of other quest mods, and I'm sure Kyle can talk more intelligently about that than I can, but it will add different quests. But as far as replacing the main storyline, I don't really know of any. I mean, even the alternate start mods, you start in a different location, but that doesn't change the story. Even in all the alternate start mods that I've seen, you still end up going back to Sanctuary at some point to talk to Codsworth and start off, going to Concord and et cetera, et cetera. I don't, especially maybe PC side, which I'm not sure of, they've been able to get a little bit more in depth in, but without, script extending and stuff like that, I don't really know that there's anything available. And I haven't looked, honestly, in the last month.
Yeah.
Maybe there are, but I haven't seen anything lately.
Dennis, help me work through this. Help me brainstorm here for a second, Dennis. Let's say, Michael, let's challenge you to do this. We're going to make you do you're going to go to Nuka World, and we're going to make you do the Nuka World playthrough, which I don't think you've done that DLC if you haven't played in a while. So we're going to do Nuka World, and you're going to do the same thing that listener Harlan Meeks did, right? Dennis, do you remember this, where he did a playthrough as a raider boss or something? Will you explain to us how that works? Like, what do you have to do in the greater Commonwealth in relationship to the Minutemen and Preston? Do you have to get these settlements first, or do you go be the raider person first and then go get settlements? Can you explain that really quick?
Well, I think what Harlan did was he basically did the DLC and the main story in reverse.
For a second there.
I still hear him.
Am I there?
I can hear you, Dennis.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear Dennis now?
Dennis, can you speak?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sorry. Go.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry. Basically, what Harlan did was all the DLC and main story in reverse. So he started with Nuka World, for Harbor, not counting the settlement DLCs, and then main story. So I did Nuka World, I think, like level 13 or so, and at high difficulty, and it was hard. It sucked, but no, you don't have to do the settlements. You don't have to get them for Preston and then go do the raider and do it in reverse. Because what happens is if you get all the settlements for Preston and then you decide to become a raider, then you basically have to retake over all the settlements that you've already acquired.
So go do the raider stuff first and then go out to the Commonwealth.
Well, I mean, it just depends on how you want to work it. I mean, if you get them all, again, if you get them all for Preston, then you're going to either have to, physically remove the people that you've settled there, or you're going to have to try to convince them, hey, get the F off our land. This is raider territory now. Whereas if you...
Sorry, I was just going to say, and I doubt Michael wants to deal a lot with Preston anyway. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue with your thought.
And you just, in the end, you either take it and then retake it, or you just take it flat for the raiders.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's a pretty good idea. It's just you go for like a raider playthrough. I mean, and I think that's I think it's very tough to combine a sort of a pro settlement, pro Commonwealth character with a hardcore raider character. So why would your character all of a sudden, after building all these settlements, all of a sudden start extorting them and killing them and everything? I think it's just I don't think it makes a lot of sense. So
I mean, the only way canon wise that it would make sense to me, and granted I have not the best role player in the world, is just the fact that you've worked, say a good portion of the settlements, and you just realize the futility of your action, and you're like, you know what, it's just I'm trying to help these people to try and do the right thing, and we're not making any headway. Might makes right. We're just, we're going to our basis instinct, and we're going to, handle things from there. And, granted, that's, from a very novice RPer, but that's about the only way that I could think that it would make any sense.
Well, so mod-wise, then I don't know exactly. If you just want to do different stories, then Michael, I would suggest, of course, Tales from the Commonwealth. If you haven't tried that yet, of course, all of us, I think, will vouch for Tales from the Commonwealth. Especially with recent updates, I think it's has caused a little less crashing and stuff.
Yeah, he just updated the other day again too.
So I'm having pretty stable stuff with it recently. So
yeah, same here.
That's great. There's at least 12 main pretty juicy quests, and then a bunch of like sort of ancillary side miscellaneous quests and stuff too. It's pretty beefy. If you haven't played with it, especially if you're bored of the NPCs that are around, you'll recognize all sorts of really cool, great, new, interesting.
Yeah, he just added an election little quest area the other day in the update.
Awesome.
Full of like picket sign election, vote for whoever. One of the candidates is one of the followers that you can find.
Oh, that's cool.
Birdie.
That's really fun. So yeah, check out that. Of course, we keep going on and on and on about that mod, but that's just because it's so good. So check that one out if you haven't yet, Michael.
And there's a couple other miscellaneous things like the WRVR radio where you can get a companion or associated quests. And I don't know if any that are as deep as Tales, but there's some that have parallel things like that. So there's other things that just add quest lines, and it adds a little bit of interest because it gives you something new to work with.
Yes, as far as quest mods for the Xbox One, when I stopped mod browsing on the console, I'm pretty much done with browsing. If I hear something particular or see something on the Nexus that I like, I'll go and look for it then on Bethesda.net. But the ones that I settled with to make my experiences varied is obviously the alternate start mod, which has, I would say, I dare to say it's more extensive than the Skyrim one, because it's not just, where you want to start at and what do you want your profession to be. It'll be like, what equipment do you want to start with? What factions do you want to be aligned with, or even ones that are hostile to you from the beginning, making your playthrough different. Let's say, instead you can't go up to dance and all those people at the beginning if they're all automatically already hostile to you. So
is that hard set in the game? Because I've used that option before and it's been toggled, but it really doesn't seem to react.
I made that mistake too. If you toggle those options and then go and change your I forget what setting it is, and go change a setting that is like a preset, that preset overrides all those individual changes you made. So like I changed my made the equipment, the hunter's equipment, and like you said, I changed who I was aligned with, and then I clicked start, and I went to start, and I'm in a completely different area with completely different equipment, and then I realized that I went and I changed it to something that I thought was just one particular option, but it was actually a preset. But the alternate start mod is definitely your way to go as far as starting out with a non-institute like playthrough. And I recommended it on the show before and will always recommend it. Endless Warfare, which gives you not only gives you more action in the game, but also can completely change your game, make it that if you pick robot, what is it, Rise of the Robots, good luck to you, sir. You
can have lots of spare parts for building a killer Frankenstein robot there. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, you get tons of spare parts. If you like laser weapons, then you'll have tons of ammo for those. But it's very hard because primes are everywhere. Not everywhere, but their primes are abundant, and they don't like you.
Hopefully that was sort of helpful, Michael. We got a few mods listed there. So thanks for writing into the show, Michael. We've got one more email from Lee before we sign off for the show. Lee says, "Hey, greetings. I like turn-based combat like in the old XCOM game, so I really like Fallout Tactics. It was really tough at low levels, and killing a turret took lots of time and planning. On the other hand, I fell so hard for Fallout 4 that I've hardly played XCOM 2, which came out around the same time. Take care, Lee." Hey, Lee, thanks for writing into the show. I always love hearing from Lee. Does anybody know anything about XCOM or Fallout Tactics? I haven't played any of those.
I know
No.
about XCOM, but I've never played it.
I've never even heard of that.
I've played a little XCOM because I'm a turn-based freak too, but I haven't got to play a lot of it.
What's the premise? The game.
It's kind of a, I'm not going to do it justice now because I'm going from memory, but it's kind of a, it is turn-based. It's, aliens are attacking and you're trying to fend them off, I believe. So.
Oh, cool.
In Fallout Tactics, that was
years ago.
Yeah, that was the underappreciated lost Fallout game. That was never made it big or anything.
Yeah, we talked. If you listened last week, where you're talking about what things are canon, there's a lot of people in the Fallout universe that's not canon. Fallout Tactics, that never happened.
Yeah,
hilarious. That's funny. So we were talking about last episode, just wrapping up a year of Fallout 4 has been in our lives. Thank you, Annie. So I'd just like to say this year's been a complete blast podcasting with all of you guys. Kara and Pat have hopped on. It's like I didn't even start this show. Like I hopped on the show probably around episode, I don't know, 25, 30, 35. I don't even know when I started doing it. And then I made Kara hop on, and then made Pat and Dennis start being staples, and we're just drawing in people all the time. And the show's just kind of evolved. And over the past year, it's been a really rewarding experience, and I love really podcasting with you guys, and it's been a real pleasure getting to know you. And that's the most important thing about Fallout 4. I love the game itself, and it's been a blast doing the game and getting to know it so well. I actually popped Skyrim out of my Xbox and put Fallout 4 back in the other night just because I needed to go back home a little bit, if you know what I mean. But the most rewarding experience of Fallout 4 for this past year has definitely been podcasting with you guys. So I'd like to thank you for that. And do you guys have any closing thoughts for Fallout 4 for the year anniversary?
Well, Andrew, certainly, absolutely, 100% echo everything you said there. This whole community, this show in particular, has been a blast. It's added so much to gaming in the Fallout universe for me, and it's I'm actually going back and picking up some. I avoided some of the early episodes because I was trying to avoid spoilage and everything else. So there's some early episodes, Andrew, probably from the pre-Andrew days that I need to go back and pick up because I'm listening to some of Michael's Skyrim Addict stuff, and like he was giving me he was talking about some good tips, and I was actually playing using some of his alchemy tips. So I'm sure there's some stuff on. Every time I listen to a quality show like that, there's going to be some interesting stuff. So echo everything you said. Fallout 4 is as we've talked about before, it's not my favorite of the series, but certainly I still really enjoy it and love the setting so much with its tongue-in-cheek humor and its thoughtful backstories and everything else. So I think from that regard, even though the gameplay is maybe second to New Vegas, I think the depth of the storylines and some of the other things they've added in for have made it very much a worthwhile addition to the canon.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's a good game to know. Kara, do you have any thoughts?
Well, number one, everything that you said, that's the reason why we all made thank you memos for you.
Oh, yeah, that was embarrassing, guys. You need to cut that shit out.
Oh, well, okay. Clearly meaning we need to do it again.
Well, shit. I guess I should have ignored the 6 emails that said, "All right, we need another one for Andrew. We're recording this day."
People had to blast into it. That's great.
Yeah, but honestly, I can honestly say, and it sounds a little dramatic, but Fallout 4 changed an aspect of my life. I have met a lot of people because I started playing the game, and then I started trying to find out more about the game, tips and tricks, found out about the podcast, and then found the community and ended up hopping on a podcast. It was kind of a whirlwind thing. All kind of happened pretty quickly in succession, but honestly, I'm really excited about, or I should say I continue to be excited about the community we have, all the tweeters, all the Facebookers, all the emailers. It's a lot of fun, and it's just great being able to kind of geek out about similar things with each other. And it kind of feels like home, you know? So for me, Fallout 4 is pretty awesome, and I think I'll always be grateful for that.
Very touching. Thank you, Kara. Kyle and Dennis, so you guys enjoyed Fallout 4 this last year?
Absolutely. It's been so long since I had New Vegas for a day and a half, and I bought it for my son for his birthday, which coincidentally I wanted it more than him. But and then I ended up accidentally flipping the Xbox over, and it grinded a hole or a ring around it. So then it was non-playable. Well, I never went and got another one. I just gave him money for a game that he wanted. But before that, it's been forever since I played Fallout 3, and I loved Fallout 3. Never went back to New Vegas, which I should take note from Pat and go back to that. But yeah, Fallout 4 was just a great, revisiting of the series, and they've added a lot. They've, they opened my eyes a lot to some of the lore aspects that I had forgotten and not not known about. And yeah, it's been a great experience, especially like Kara said, meeting all the new people and being on this podcast, and being more active in the Facebook group. So it's just been great. It's been a great year.
Awesome, and we've appreciated your participation in every aspect, Kyle. It's been good to get to know you. And Dennis, do you have any closing thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I played Fallout almost exclusively for that whole year that had been out, maybe 11 months, super hardcore. And something that Pat said on the last Skyrimatic, actually, VATS rules, and Skyrim may be a good game, but it doesn't have VATS, so it can suck it. Because when you get swarmed by 5 people and you're expected to deal with all that, VATS is still pretty king.
I was trying to pound my VATS when I pulled out my bow the other day. Are you kidding me? Where's my VATS? This sucks.
So, Fallout 4, may have issues, but there's still a lot of good things, a lot of depth in it, and it's nice to take a little break and dip your toe back in Skyrim and other games, but it'll give a chance for the modding community to grow. You'll come back to it. There'll be new mods, new things to get involved with. So there might be a little bit of a lull now, but it gives an opportunity for you to walk away from it, take a couple breaths, come back in, look around, see what the mods are, and it'll be an entirely new experience. Give it 2 months. The great thing about Bethesda games is there's such a great modding community, and people like Kyle that are doing work and doing different things. So you never know what the future may hold, and that's the bright spot of looking at the games that we look at.
That's incredible. Yeah, good thoughts. I really enjoyed that. I did have one more closing thought before the show ends. Kylie in her email mentioned the ham radios, that she was turning them off all the time. I always turn every radio on. Like Kara, I remember you made something like where you had to turn all the radios on every time you found a radio, right? Wasn't that you?
It's a compulsion. It must happen.
Yeah. So there's still so much to this game I don't know. Is this a big spoiler? Because I still don't know I don't know what she's talking about with the ham radios, guys.
Oh yeah, there are a couple of ham radios. I cannot remember specific locations right now, but there's one.
I know that there are, but when you turn them on, does some part of a story open up or something? I don't know what she's talking about.
In one case, yes, as far as I know. I haven't come across another ham radio where it does. But in one case, there's a recording that's playing over and over again over the ham radio. I don't know really how that worked out because it's a ham radio and it's not there's not a recording aspect, but okay. And it's basically
a holotape. A holotape can repeat.
It's one of those kind of like things that you come across. It's like, oh man, you died horribly. That really, I'm sorry.
Is anybody telling Kara that we're trying to build up Fallout 4, not trying to tear it down right now? It's a 1-year anniversary. We're talking good things, positive things.
No, I like that about the Fallout feed. Not Fallout feed. About Fallout. Sorry.
Oh, she hates us. Oh no.
It's almost midnight. Leave me alone. I'm an old woman. But in this particular case, there was a cave-in when the bombs dropped, in some, I think it was an electrical facility or something like that. Maybe it's on the water. That's how much I remember of it. And it's this guy going, "Hey, there's a cave in, and I need you to come dig me out. All right, like it's funny, yeah, haha. You're leaving me alone and leaving me in suspense, but come on, buddy, come back to me and tell me again." And you're just like, oh, sorry about that guy from
200 years ago.
Years ago. Yeah.
What's our bad?
Yeah, it's just one of those little things. And I kind of feel that way when I read certain emails or come across certain little note scraps or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it kind of tugs at my heartstrings whenever you're just like, this note never found its way to where it needed to go.
Well, it was mentioned. It was a Kylie's email where she mentions the family that was
vacuum sealed. That was the ham radio.
Yeah,
I think that rings. I think I've run across that. That all the ham radios are all connected to that story.
Yeah.
Was there only one? There's more than one ham radio across the land.
Yeah, no, it's not all, because like there's one in the glowing sea that leads you to it's broadcasting the sound of a bunch of ghouls crawling around a church. So it's just creepy as hell. It doesn't really. I guess it could theoretically lead you to find that church if you don't find it on your own, but it's mostly just creepy.
Would that cause, once you hear that, if you turn that radio on, would that cause a miscellaneous quest marker in your Pip-Boy to pop up?
That particular one, I don't think so.
Okay, that should. That'd be interesting if that did that.
Isn't there?
Yeah, sorry.
What is it? A CB radio that's at the Red Rocket, or is it a ham radio?
I've never heard of it. There's CB radios in the game?
I don't know.
I think it's radios and ham radios. I think that's the difference. Is radio and ham.
Yeah. Because there is. Maybe I just am remembering it wrong, but I could have sworn there was a ham radio at the Red Rocket on top of one of the.
It could be.
Yeah, it's in the side before you get in the main office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the cash register, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I always scrap that shit. I
scrap it too.
Yeah.
But now that I know that there could be a story attached or something, maybe I should turn it on and listen to it at some point.
Yeah. That would be a neat add-on later on.
Oh, yeah. Let's write in some mods, guys. Speaking of which, writing mods, I know Marcus just had a baby. Congratulations again, Marcus, on your new baby. But he's trying to write a mod for some ASAPodcasting scripted robes for Skyrim. He's trying to write a mod for us so that we can have our own cool stamped robes. That is so awesome. I hope he pulls this off. And Ray is helping him, so shout out to Ray Butcher too. Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks. Ray's always
Ray.
listening in and participating and play along, sending in feedback and stuff too. So shout out for Ray. He's also doing a Skyrim Roundtable character. Oh, I should mention that really quick. If you're interested in doing the Skyrim Roundtable, please go over to the asapodcasting.com, find the Skyrim section of the webpage, scroll down to find the Skyrim character stat generator. Click on that, refresh your page a couple times, and then you get a nice random roll for yourself. And send us in feedback using the voice memo app on your phone to skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. So everyone, please submit that and please play along, and you'll get your feedback read on the air. And we love hearing from everyone, and it's a great community. We did the Fallout Roundtable. Now we're doing the Skyrim. We'll bounce back to the Fallout Roundtable next spring sometime.
And if you're not feeling all the Skyrim action and you're dedicated to Fallout, you can do your Fallout playthroughs, and believe me, Pat will read them.
Absolutely.
Nonstop.
Yes. Actually, no, that's true. Thank you for mentioning that, Dennis. We also have on the Fallout section of the webpage at asapodcasting.com. You scroll down. There's also a Fallout character generator. So if you want to just do a random character generator, if you're into Fallout and you couldn't care less about Skyrim, I know that there's a bunch of people out there like that. So keep listening to the show. We'll keep doing the show. But go ahead and send us in some feedback on your random role, and would love to interact with people. So that sounds like a good plan. And speaking of the little battle between Skyrim and Fallout, they put a poll up on the webpage, in the Facebook group the other day, and there was like, which is better, ooh, that's really, really nice. You jerks. But like 30 people went for Skyrim, and there was like a solid 8 of us. So I know who my solid core friends are.
Well, and if we had stacked the deck and put up a Skyrim versus Fallout poll a year ago when Fallout 4 was brand new, I think Fallout might have gotten the 30 votes. So it's all a matter of timing.
That's a very good call. But shout out to Shalene. I think she was leading the pack there with that Fallout run. So anybody have any closing thoughts besides that?
Yeah, I totally didn't vote for Skyrim. Not at all. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
I thought Marcus was a hardcore Fallout fan. I think even he answered Elder Scrolls. I'm like, what?
Oh, Marcus. Such a disappointment to us in the end.
I mean, to be fair, I've never played any ESO, so I mean, I'm not sure if my vote should really
automatically
count.
prefer Fallout then. So
yeah, that's what I clicked. I was like, well, I guess
we know
it's
who our
Fallout.
friends are. That's all I'm saying. We know who our friends are.
Well, it didn't say continue to be Andrew's friend. Click here and all defense.
It's in the fine print.
I guess I should have assumed, but I screwed that up now.
Read the subtext.
That was a trick question. I don't even know who put up the poll. Pat, do you recall?
I do not remember. I voted as I dutifully should, but I don't remember who put it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing your duty as a citizen of the Facebook group. If no one has any other closing thoughts, I would like to say thank you to Kyle for joining us. Thanks, Kyle. It was great to speak with you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Dennis, it's a pleasure as always, sir.
Good to be here.
Kara, I always love it when you pop in, and hopefully you'll get some sort of Thanksgiving break or Christmas break where you can check in with us again, maybe?
I think so. I think this current course is going to be less intensive than the previous ones.
Great.
So I think that should happen.
That's awesome.
Good to hear. Cool.
And, Pat and I were thinking about starting another podcast, you guys, but I think the man has to shut us down with stupid copyright laws and stuff. We're going to have to figure out a way to get around this sort of thing. So.
Oh, no.
Wait, what's going
on?
on?
Pat. Thank you for joining me on the Fallout feed.
All right. Good to be here as always.
And I'd like to say I'm Andrew, and we will see you in the wasteland.
See you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to ASAPodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout feed, the Skyrimaddictpodcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
I really got to update that outro song, right? It says our contact number or email is the falloutroundtable@gmail.com instead of the Fallout feed. It was specifically for the round. It was before I was in control of the Fallout feed at all. So it was I wrote it specifically for only the roundtable episodes. Like
you need to take control, man.
The number, the regular Fallout feed episodes had their own intro and outro music, and that was for the roundtable only episodes, and it has since become the Fallout feed. I need to update everything.
So
I tell you, man, we need to get Tori branding all the ASA shows. We need to do a little Tori outro
kind of
for every one of them.
Apply her with so that she will do the outro again.
Yeah, we're neither of us are big alcohol people. She does like an amaretto sour or something like that.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I think she likes that sort of thing sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. Don't give her tequila, please.
Oh no.
Tequila is the most don't give me that drink for I think universally. That's the one. There's so many people with my worst drunk was tequila.
That's the only one that I do like. That is, if I'm drinking hard liquor, it's going to be tequila. I like a good, I'll sit and sip tequila where I can't do that with other liquor, like hard liquors. You know what I mean? Like I'll just sit.
Now we know your weakness. Okay, good tequila for Andrew. All right.
Or, just a classic trashy margarita with terrible tequila is good. If you got
And we
good
are
margarita,
we are now writing the trashy tequila mod for Fallout.
Yeah. I
Can
will
drink-
stumble around throwing tequila in people's faces.
Be drinking Molotovs.
Oh, that should be a model. Drinking a Molotov gives you fire breath.
Could be.
One quick note, someone on the YouTube page said, his name is John Dirt. He said, love you guys, love your guys' podcast.
Hang on just
Especially,
a second, Kara.
okay.
I'm going to record you reading this on the end of the episode. Wait, hang on just a second.
Hanging.
All right, go ahead.
Just wanted to note really quick that on our YouTube page, John Dirt said he said, love you guys, love your podcast, especially Skyrim. Thank you for your time and all the work you put into it, and keep them coming.
Thanks for watching on the YouTube page. Really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for chiming in. That's really great. And watching live. I didn't even know people watched us live. That's awesome. And
Every now and then. Yeah.
Skyrim
I always forget to check the YouTube page to see if someone's chatting, and then by the time I do, they're usually gone.
So, post-mortem shout out. That's why I wanted to roll again, just so this guy gets a shout out. Awesome. Thanks for listening. Okay, I got that file done. I'm saving this. Sorry it took so long. I wanted that to be a half an hour episode. That one turned into be an hour episode. Good Lord.
Yeah.
What? God, we talk too much.
Yeah,
Gotta
sorry.
cut that out.
I was trying to get you to bed by 11.
That's all right. It's all right.
So when you said about another podcast venture, I thought you meant about Earwash. What podcast you guys try to do and were shut down?
Yeah, the man.
We were just brainstorming a music podcast, which we haven't done or started or anything else. But it's just hard to play licensed, copyrighted music, even under fair use and everything else. It's just tough to do.
We thought that we'd be able to play like 20 or 30-second clips, and you're not even allowed to do that.
No, you're not.
It's really, really tightly controlled. And I doubt anyone would ever notice us. Like, we're so under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But we cannot take that chance because the first offense is $150,000 fine, or like it was something ridiculous. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, I tell you what, YouTube will notice it, because I think any of the Twitch streams I had that were posted to YouTube ended up being muted because I would turn on the radios in game, and then they got struck on YouTube.
And that's why Off the Record had to switch to Twitch. Is they got some kind of takedown. I don't know if it was their show specifically or if it was some other QGN show, but that's why QGN's twitching rather than YouTubing for live streams. They're still I guess they're still allowed to post recorded streams, but YouTube shut them out from being live shows. So I mean, that's something we really can't chance it, because you could completely hose everything Michael's got set up if we did something like that accidentally.
Yeah, I don't want Michael to be like drive his family into bankruptcy over.
That's right. Yeah.
15-second clip.
Yeah. The ASA, all the lucrative commercial revenue from ASAPodcasting.
No, speaking of which, Pat, I'm glad you said that. When I go to YouTube and watch any of our videos now, there are now commercials in front of all of our videos. How does that work?
I think if you don't have like a paid account or something. I mean, if you pay for an account, you can probably control that, right? But I'm assuming Michael just has a free account.
But we're
still live, by the way. You want to?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll kill the podcast.